I'm thinking there might be more than one way to give karma, which could change the functionality of karma in the first place. So it says during the battle, Momoshiki converted himself into data, replicated himself, and implanted that into Boruto's body. It seems like Jigen was using like wires and stuff, so like I feel like there's a little bit of a different process there, and that different process might function differently with how the karma comes to be, or the process of karma being used by the user
But
later on.
This is
but
just
it's
my
facts
theory,
though.
but the Jigen case, I think it could be a thing where once you can't, it could be a thing where like Momoshiki having placed karma on Boruto can't place another karma on, Bob down the street. I think Jigen sought out a motto for his cloning technology that he specialized in so that he could like clone karma. That's my theory. But he was cloning the karma onto other people.
So here's what I don't
I
understand.
think I don't think I think the reason why he needed a model was because he couldn't place karma through Jigen. I think
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
exactly. Like
so
Shiki,
he
too.
needed to clone the
Yeah,
karma on Jigen onto
yeah,
other people.
but
yeah.
That's my
but they
theory.
can like if he was like Ishiki, he could like place it on like a billion people if he wanted to.
I think he placed it
But
on
one thing though, I
Jigen.
wanted
But
to like
That's possible
oh,
too.
technically, yeah, yeah. Um, well, they did say that the Otsutsuki can have multiple vessels, and once
yeah.
they resurrect, then the other ones are erased. So they legit can. One
So
thing though,
Yeah, but it
the
might have to be the
Momoshiki
literal
thing,
Itsuki, not the vessel of the Itsuki.
yeah, exactly, yeah. I think that the Momoshiki situation is interesting because when he implanted the karma seal, I think he did it while he was in the Rasengan being destroyed. So I
yeah, I
was like
agree.
showing this to my the peeps on stream, right? We're like discussing it. When he like I look at the karma seal like this, so we have Ishiki. Ishiki was blown in half by Kaguya, but yet when he backed up himself and resurrected in Jigen, he had his full body. Now, people were explaining to me that DNA has like the history of your entire body, yada, yada, blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. Now, this is different, obviously different in Boruto, because if you look at Momoshiki, the horns he had before that the destroyed. If you look at the anime
It's
one, it doesn't show in
inconsistent,
the manga, right?
but yeah.
Yeah, it shows that his horns were destroyed at the top, right? Partially. So when he implanted the karma seal into Boruto, we see that the Momoshiki that's in Boruto has these partially destroyed horns. So if it did place, like the DNA that has like the information from what his horns were before, then he would have his horns back, like post giving birth to the karma seal, but he clearly doesn't. So this then proves again, karma seal is a compressed Otsutsuki backup file. It compresses and replicates the existing data, and if that data isn't there, it can't put it into another. It's like a backup from a computer, right? You delete a file
Yeah.
yesterday, and you do the backup today, and you plant that backup or you restore that backup on another computer. You're not getting the file that you deleted the day prior that wasn't backed up into the backup. Okay, it's very simple.
No,
So I think how the karma seal works is in Shiki's case. I think he created the karma seal before he got destroyed by Kaguya, but he just couldn't implant it because he didn't have enough energy to implant it in Jigen.
no.
So that explains why, even though he has his lower half was destroyed, he still has it after implanting it into Jigen because he created it, and you can keep. And this makes sense, right? Because we know a model like fashioned the karma seal, and it's literally in Kawaki waiting to be implanted into the clone he's going to create for Delta, not Delta, KB. So the karma seal is something that you can literally create and hold on to and then implant it when you're ready.
We can probably end on this, but there's multiple things about Amado's explanation that to me it seems don't make sense. So first he starts with he's explaining that this is in chronological order. He
That
says
makes sense.
during the battle. So everything he says after this is happening like in a set order. So first, Momoshiki converted himself into
Mhm.
data. Then he replicated
Mhm.
himself. Then he implanted that into Boruto's body. That doesn't make sense to me.
Mhm.
So the first thing,
Why?
Momoshiki converted himself into data. Again, going back to
Think he
converted.
should
So
replicate himself first.
yeah, he should have replicated himself first. That's the first thing. Because like if he converts himself into data, there's no Momoshiki to replicate because he's data. He's not Momoshiki. He's
It
not physical
depends.
thing.
It depends on by
It
what they mean
depends
by
on.
himself.
It also depends on what the Otsutsuki are.
But like
Um.
convert sort of like
So
implies
because
transform. Like he's changing himself from one thing into another thing. So he's changing
and
into
he
data.
For
literally
him,
did that with. he changed Boruto's DNA into Otsutsuki. I mean,
Him himself could be something more than what you might be thinking on the surface. Like when he says like himself, like if you like I don't know, this is stupid. If you took like a piss or a shit, okay, that's you. Okay, that's that shit is you, bro. Okay, but you still are you yourself. So you can like walk away from like your turd and into the toilet and still be in two places at once. Okay, no, I'm bullshitting, but yeah, no, I think I get what you mean by replicate. It should be like he replicated himself, and then like the version that was caught in the Rasengan dies, but then like the replicate itself condenses down into data, and then implants itself into the vessel, and that would make a little bit more sense. But I think that's how it happened. I think when he says he turned himself into data, um, it's either how I just described it, or he literally didn't die, in the same way. Like his body didn't get disintegrated. His body actually instead of getting disintegrated, it got like compressed and then like
but like,
put it inside the
But yeah,
vessel.
there's
I don't know where the
multiple things
Mello,
replication
wrong
part
here
comes in.
but
because
why would he then need to replicate himself
Replicate,
then?
yeah,
but
I
he
don't know.
shouldn't
I
be
don't
able
know where
to
the
even
replication
convert
part comes
himself
in.
into data because he already is Momoshiki. Momoshiki has Momoshiki's data. He is Momoshiki's data.
No, the reason why I think that the best way to interpret it is that the karma seal you can only it's like file formats in like like you can only like let's say you have zip files or whatever and you can make something up some WC whatever. So the karma seal can only back up a certain file format. So he needed to convert his data into a different file format into data and then replicated that and then placed that replicated data into the karma seal.
So
Everything in both is like computer, like code, gaming, like Ada. Like I think everything is around data, computer science, bullshit nonsense. I think Yotsuzuki have this power. I was literally see him do like convert Boruto's data into Otsutsuki while keeping him Boruto. Like the shit makes no sense, right? But they're able to do it because they're
It's a
Otsutsuki.
divine miracle. It's a shinjutsu.
Yeah.
yeah, but here's another
Yeah.
thing. So
It's difficult to explain.
he shouldn't be able to replicate himself either. I know it's saying essentially it's implying the karma seal, but like the stopgap of the karma seal is to stop Otsutsuki replication. So there's not duplicates.
Uh
Keep in mind, this is before he implants it onto Boruto's body. So there are two Momoshikis before he does that.
No, well technically it stops
Well, two datas
replicating
worth of Momoshiki.
consciousness. No, not
Yeah,
data
there's not
because
two Momoshiki
technically
consciousness.
speaking,
There's two
yeah, it's
Momoshiki
just one, two
datas.
Momoshiki data, but one Momoshiki consciousness. So there's not really a contradiction. Yeah. Because you can have two Momoshiki, that's why they can have multiple vessels that are 100% of
Yeah.
Momoshiki.
I mean,
but
So
the moment
is
he resurrects the
Momoshiki's
consciousness, that is when it becomes a problem.
so when Momoshiki converts himself into data, is that data sentient or conscious?
I
no.
don't think so because Ishiki's data in Kawaki wasn't. Because
Okay,
Ishiki was still alive in
because
Jigen's head.
because I'm
I would
still
say
thinking converting. So
probably yes.
interesting.
Well, it depends on how you define consciousness because if I don't believe in like souls. So like if you took like me and then copied me, then that would just like it'll be me. It would think it's me. It would be me effectively, and then it would go on and like depending if we branched off our lived experiences would create like different versions of me. So like if you remove like the soul aspect and you just look at like the consciousness, and then they can literally get like their combat experience. Um, and I don't know this, and I don't like speculating about this, but it's probably something more than combat experience because if combat experience specifically being stated might be in reference to like combat, which is what they're in when he said it, so that's why it's relevant combat experience, but it might just be all of it because they literally convert all of themselves. So I'm not sure why the limitation to combat would exist.
Well, that's why I think it's just
yeah.
Cap because, like, yeah, for that reason, he should be able to just tap into Ishiki's literal memories and just know things he doesn't. I think it's Cap. I don't think it's doing that.
Yeah, this is really semantic, but
I think they're
technically,
just stronger.
technically he implanted it onto Boruto's body, not into Boruto's body. It's on his palm.
No,
so
it's not.
it's like
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
pyramid shaped. It like digs and
No,
like
no,
strike.
the karma seal. I don't think the karma seal is on the palm. That's just a mark. I think the chip itself is lodged somewhere within the body.
Okay.
If the chip if the chip is like in the palm and that's literally what's extracting, all they would need to do is just cut out the chip. So I think through deduction you can deduce that
Not like
it
anyone
isn't
tried it to
the
test it
tattoo.
out. For all we know, it does work.
What? No, technically speaking, they did mention it when Kakashi, well, not Kakashi, Kawaki threatened to blow off Boruto's hand and maybe he'll get rid of the Momoshiki situation. And since the
Yeah.
characters are literally saying this and they laugh at him saying this, it means that no, that wouldn't work. And the reason why that wouldn't work is because that likely isn't what's extracting the data. I think that's just a representation of the karma seal itself. I think that it's somewhere else within the body being dissolved, and that's why they can't get rid of it.
But it does
Like a
happen to
sugar cube.
travel there,
Why do
so
you
I think
All
it
I'm
is
gonna
like a
say is
zombie bite. If you get rid of it fast
That's why
enough,
even Jigen,
then yeah.
that's why even Jigen, after becoming 100% Ishiki, still had the karma seal. So it's like the karma mark that
well, it
is,
hadn't been
even though the karma
diffused
seal
onto
was
his body yet,
100%.
though.
It was actually.
No, because the way Amato explained it, because
to
Sasuke asked what
resurrect
happens to
first.
karma when they resurrect, and Amato says the karma
No,
spreads and diffuses onto their body.
no, the karma does diffuse. It just doesn't overwrite until
Bro,
they
check
resurrect.
it out with
I can
Amato.
pull it up. I can pull it up right now.
But
Now
Kido,
go to
I
chapter
think-
if
66.
you cut it off before it diffuses to where it can diffuse, then the rest of your body should be good. So like if Boruto cut his arm off before leaving Momoshiki's dimension, he theoretically could have been safe.
No, but no. If they could, even after Boruto became 80%, they could have cut off his hand and saved it because Momoshiki can't resurrect unless he reaches 100%. So the mere fact that they didn't means that that solution is not a solution.
No, but it
So,
diffuses.
unless
I'm
you
not
want to
talking
induce
about
a
percent.
plot hole into the series.
No, I'm saying it's like a zombie bite. Like, how does it diffuse? Because it's implanted into his palm. They cut it off before it diffuses somewhere else, before it starts extracting.
Wait, why does the diamond
What?
pattern appear in the palm if it's a karma's in his body somewhere?
I
And
think
all
it's
I'm
just
saying is
a manifestation of the karma.
But then
Yeah,
like
but
like-
why
it's
does
like,
it appear on
um,
Jigen's chin?
all the
it's like a tattoo.
illustrations
So-
like that mention the diamond shaped pattern.
So again, Keto,
Yeah,
I'm
but
Why
just
is it
thinking of
on
it.
the palm
Jigen's chin
isn't-
for that matter?
And you look at you have to look at a lot what makes more sense, right? If you believe that what's in the palm is the actual chip that is being dissolved, that is being extracted, all they would need to do is cut out the chip or remove his hand and the problem is fixed. The mere fact that they didn't and they even mentioned it in the story as laughable means that that cannot be the case.
I
Where
disagree
do they
because
mention
a
it?
lot of time has happened.
In
Again.
chapter when after Kawaki lost his hand to Delta, the chapter right after that,
Yeah.
and they're in the room talking about his
I mean,
hand
who's
and stuff, the new
laughing
hand that he
as
received.
well? Would they know?
The scientist.
I don't remember the whatever scene you're
Katasuke
talking
Yeah, I don't
about.
know. But I'm seeing of
Katasuke
it like a
is
zombie
in the
bite.
room,
So
and they're saying that they're
in a zombie bite, the virus can spread through your bloodstream, and you can cut it off in time, and you're safe. But if it spreads and then you cut it off, if it's too late, then you'll still transform. But you aren't going to transform immediately. It's going to take time.
this is how go in chat. This is how the karma seal is explained.
So-
So
But
the
look in
karma
chat
seal
what I
that's
posted.
The virus can spread throughout your
It's,
entire
this is
body,
about
so
the
that you're
diffusing
still
thing.
0%
Look.
zombie at first.
look. As your karma, as you know, your karma contains all of me in data form compressed. So this chip that you're seeing here is the karma seal in Momoshiki in data form compressed. This is Momoshiki.
Yeah.
Then it says about 82% had already been extracted and diffused into your body. And when he showed the 82%, this is shown in the diagram, showing that 82% of the chip that you're seeing here, the physical chip, has been diffused.
I
My
mean, technically,
resurrection
there should
would
be two
finally
karma
become
seals.
possible once the remaining 18% finish extracting, but regrettably, not if my vessel itself were to get destroyed
So
beforehand.
real quick, Kido.
The point here
Kido, real
is
quick.
that
Do you think Amato lied then? Because look at the
We got
scan
it in,
above.
by the way, Kamui.
Amato's answering the
30
question from
seconds.
Sasuke about after they resurrect.
Yeah, you guys got
Does that
30
mean
Go again?
Amato lied?
the extracted Suzuki data dissipate throughout the whole body. So like a sugar cube, you put
And over and
into
out.
your tea that eventually dissolves completely. The karma seal will also
But he's saying it
also
that happens
disappear.
when they resurrect. Whereas Momoshiki's saying it happens continuously over time. So that
Wait,
means
he
one of them